No,
Hello.
I had an intro in mind and it was gross. I'm not going to do that.
Oh.
No, I was going to, forgive me for it. It was what came to mind, but it meant nothing. I was going to say something like, "Are you soggy because we're bone dry?" It's gross.
So shut up, stop talking, cease and desist, there's a good girl. Go, 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 go.
Moisturize me, moisturize me.
Welcome back to Never Ever Eat Pears. I'm Regan, your host, and joined once again by my wonderful co-host, Pete.
What's up?
We are underwater, and there's trouble afoot, because the Doctor is dead.
The Doctor is dead.
Again.
Except for in the prologue.
Yes!
In the pre-credits scene.
Let's talk about the prologue.
Fucking love the pre-credit scene so much.
Amazing. Who is in the TARDIS, apart from the Doctor? Is this...
yeah. Who
is he talking to?
He's talking to us. He's talking to us!
Well, of course he is, yes. But within the context... I'm guessing it's Clara, because we revisit what he's talking about now at the very end of the episode.
We do, yeah.
But there's no way that Clara, as a character, isn't interjecting and laying down points. This is the quietest Clara has ever been.
Maybe Clara's asleep and he's talking to an asleep Clara.
Maybe... Well,
that's the only time you can talk without getting interrupted.
No, that's better than what I had in mind. Yeah, let's go with that. I just had it in my mind that he got so frustrated of her interjecting that he'd be like chained and gagged her to the console. I'm like, shush now, this is gold.
Because I think he might be talking to himself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we've had similar things in Listen at the beginning, he's chatting to himself. But is he chatting to the thing that he can't see?
I think that's what he's doing in the context of that episode.
Maybe he's just getting friendly with the thing he can't see again and he's chatting to, you know.
Yeah, I suppose it's lonely. Yeah. It's nice that he's laying down some dialogue every so often.
Like, hello, mate. I know you're still here, so I'm going to have a chat.
Fucking thing.
Oh, honestly, that image, it seared into my head and I hate it. But...
But we get the explanation of the bootstrap
paradox. And we get it with an electric guitar.
Yeah, we do. Which bleeds into the intro. And I so wish that this version of the intro was the one that we always had.
It's my ringtone.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's so
But it starts
good.
with like... And it's so loud. And everyone that hears it is like, what the fuck is that? It sounds like a chainsaw starting up. But
That's
I
so
love
cool.
it. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And did you see that on his amp... It's Magpie Electric?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes, because I think we raised this point when we only last time.
Oh god, yeah, because it's the same amount he's using for the tank. Yeah, I forget. But yeah, he's chatting about Bootstrap.
Yes.
Yes.
And lays down some definition / go to Google yourself, you lazy bastard.
Yeah, pretty much. He's chatting about Beethoven, isn't he?
Yes.
That there's this guy that is obsessed with
time traveler
who's obsessed with Beethoven, so goes back to Beethoven,
but no one knows
who he is.
But he then quickly says that wasn't the case. But he does find the person who's meant to be Beethoven, but Beethoven hasn't actually written any of this music.
Yep.
So the time traveler, if I'm getting this right,
has brought all his records and music and
has
stuff.
brought the sheet stuff for him to sign, but then recopies it down and releases it, and then the time traveler becomes Beethoven.
Time traveler becomes Beethoven. Yeah.
Yeah.
But where did the music come from in the first place?
Yes.
And it's a whole paradoxy thing. Yeah. And I love that he's like, yeah, Beethoven was nice. Nice chap.
Didn't he say very intense?
Very intense. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I suppose that's also alluding to who it could actually be, because he could just be talking about himself.
He 100% could be talking about himself. Yeah. I almost want to say he does say something about eyebrows, but I don't know if he does.
No, I don't think he says eyebrows, but he just says intense.
And I think he says he
loves to wrestle or something along those lines.
Loves to arm wrestle or something?
Yeah, I think arm wrestling.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the whole principle of like, if you go, it's a time travel vibe, isn't it? Is that like, where do some ideas come from? Yeah. Can you give them to yourself? That something just like miraculously appears out of the air.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think it's a cool idea.
Composed Beethoven's Fifth. But after the title crawl, we are in Scotland prior to the flood.
Yeah, I think we are, aren't we? We don't go back to Dead Doctor yet, do we?
No, I think we've landed, and it's the Doctor, Fangirl, and Glasses.
Glasses, yeah. And we've stepped out into the valley.
Yes.
That isn't dead yet.
No, and we very quickly learn that this is a training ground for possible Soviet invasion,
nuclear war, yeah.
thingy. But it's in Scotland.
Yep.
We get some companions listed off because this girl is even more of a fan.
We do,
because I think Glasses is inside the TARDIS having a good vom.
Oh yeah, he's very poorly.
And she lists off all the companions from the reboot up till now.
Yeah. Which is a bit stalkerish, really, love. Not gonna lie. There's fangirling, and then there's calm down. She's effectively asking for a job, isn't she? She's like, can I come?
It's not to be.
It's not to be.
We'll
talk about that later.
Outrageous behaviour from Glasses having a prawn sandwich when there's that giant trough of fucking food.
Exactly.
You bastard!
Why would you have a prawn sandwich? No. Unacceptable behaviour.
Although I will say this, I've been to multiple work events where there have been huge troughs of food like that, and everyone avoids it apart from me.
Oh, really?
I am the one lunatic that will go up and just... unless it's chicken, because I'm not an idiot, but...
Yeah, no one touched... no.
But I remember there was a work do where we had giant troughs of what was kind of like... Not soup, but almost like a pasta sauce, and there were mushrooms and things like that inside.
All right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, everyone
But
else...
untouched by others.
I had the best. I just had bowl after
I bet.
bowl
You're
of,
like, yeah.
of
thank you very
mystery
much.
mushroom stew. It's great. Yeah, so...
Yeah, he quickly comes back, doesn't he, Glasses Boy? After
Yeah.
he's vommed all over the TARDIS.
And we get them walking over to the ship.
Yes, because we found the ship.
We have.
And then we find Mole Man.
I don't know about you, but it was not jarring, but I didn't realise that the exterior of the ship was a completely different colour from the interior until we saw it from this angle.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh.
Yeah. But it's a cool little
I think
design.
it was quite a nice little design. Yeah. It was just very much like, oh.
I suppose it's better that it's that colour because I suppose black absorbs light. So in a valley, it goes more unnoticed when it is all closed up, as opposed to it just being white everywhere.
White everywhere.
It will just stick out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we walk up to the ship and we see that there's no writing on the wall.
There's no writing on the wall.
The stasis chamber's still in the ship.
As is Mr. Battery.
Mr. Battery is there, and there's a big old carcass that's laying on the...
Oh, God, yeah. It's all wrapped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we haven't seen it yet. But we
haven't seen what's inside, but we have seen a big old present boy.
Yes.
And we see Mole Boy.
What's his name?
I don't... Oh, Prentice.
Prentice.
Yeah.
Prentice.
Yeah.
I was like, Prentice.
Now, David Williams' character in... what was the episode?
God Complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never came off, and I hate to use this term because it has outrageous connotations and suggestions from it, but he was nowhere near as horny about being captured than this guy is. Where he's talking to the Doctor, he's like, oh, okay, so the Fisher King oppressed my people for 10 glorious years, but fucker died, I'm come here to bury him. But you could oppress me, and I have great tools for my oppression.
It's
fuck
awful.
off.
And he does that horrible thing with his like nose and his lip.
Yeah, nah.
The Doctor's like,
Yeah, gross.
It's the right word to use, and it's an awful word, but yeah, he is just horny for it, and it's like, because the David Williams guy, when the Doctor was explaining it, it was like that's just the way they've survived. Like they're peaceful and cowardly, and one of the longest surviving races because they are cowardly and peaceful.
But never suggested for one moment that they got off on it.
No, but this guy did. Maybe that's why he's an undertaker. He just lives by himself and deals with the dead because it's like too creepy to be around the rest of them.
On a side note, visit our merch store for horny for your oppression t-shirts.
We are racking up some good ones.
We are, yeah. I need to draw. I need to get on that. So
we've learnt the name of Big Scary Dude.
It is the Fisher King.
It is the Fisher King.
And we've learnt that this is a what's Apprentice's job? He's like this is basically a hearse.
He's an undertaker.
He's an undertaker.
Yeah.
And he's dressed for the part.
Yeah. He's got his nice little hat,
top hat,
sash and stuff. Yeah. He's ready.
And the episode dwindles away in my mind because once
I can't
again,
remember who leaves. I think the Doctor and the other two kind of wander off.
Oh, okay. So we've now cut back to Clara.
Are we cutting back?
Yeah. So Clara's sad in the corner,
Oh yes,
and we
yeah.
get a good moment from Fun
Lun. Yeah, fun
Lun,
Yeah.
who does bring up quite a good point where he's saying like, what would you say in this situation? Because I want to know what to say to you to make you feel better.
Yeah.
And she says, like she has in the past, that everything will be okay and the doctor will save them. And then rightly he questions her on whether she believes it or not.
Yeah.
I don't know whether she is truthful in her answer.
I don't know.
Because this is almost visual proof to her that everything's
fucked up. Yeah.
But she does outright say, and lots of Doctor Who fans have used it as a nice little snippet in their Doctor Who tribute videos of her saying like, yeah, I believe it.
I believe it, yeah. Because, like, I think maybe she is telling the truth, because who's to say that the Doctor doesn't save her and then die after saving them? You know what I mean?
But we find Cass deduces that the Doctor's saying
something
different
completely
things.
different. Yeah.
And he is in fact listing off names. He's listing off everyone, including Prentice, which
Isn't
of
he
course
saying,
the three of them don't know who Prentice is.
Yeah. Isn't he saying Prentice, Moran, Pritchard, Doctor, Clara?
I think there's someone before Clara, but Clara's.
Oh God, yeah, there is,
because we've got that to come.
Yeah, before Doctor Clara, isn't it? Because the last two names he's saying are Doctor Clara. I think
Possibly. I haven't written down what order it is, but
but the order is important.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know if it's worth saying. Fuck it. I'm going to say it. The order is the order of who's died first.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. They haven't deduced that yet, but
doesn't he say her?
He does say her name.
Yeah.
But...
Can't remember her name.
Oh, what? Cass?
No.
Oh,
the other one.
Moran. No, Moran.
Fangirl.
Morven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he chucks her name in the mix before himself, doesn't he?
Her name's before Clara's. That's important.
But is it before his as well?
Don't know.
Don't know. Because I think
his might be later.
No, his is definitely before Clara's.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, because I remember him saying it doesn't really matter who else was after Clara, but knowing that it was after him, he needed to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So there's a point where the Doctor, because the Doctor's now seen him dead.
Oh, yeah,
Does he say something like, my regeneration was a bit of a clerical error?
Anyway. He's pretty much... He's sad, but he's low-key just accepting, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I think he's more pissed off that he knows his future, doesn't he? Because he tries so hard not to.
Yeah.
I think he's more pissed off that Clara's shown him his future. But yeah, he did say it's a clerical error. Which I think is quite cool. It's quite sweet.
So... Again, some of the episode happens, but then we get Mole Boy wander back into the ship and see that the bandages are empty.
Yeah.
And that the Fisher King's gone for a bit of a walkabout. The writing's on the wall.
Scratchings on the wall, and then we get the same...
Yeah.
Visual of it in his eyes.
And he turns around and presumably gets killed, axed off.
Do we hear big old noise at this point?
We hear stomping, I think, and then we
hear
the shot of a gun, I think, potentially.
Do we?
I think we do hear something being fired, but he doesn't... Weirdly, Mole Boy doesn't scream. There's no scream.
But do we get the big death metal scream at this point?
No, not yet.
Oh, is that later?
That is later, I think. Yes.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I think peeps hear that and then come back to the ship.
Yeah.
To see that now Mole Boy's on the slab.
He is.
Fisher King's gone. There's a trail leading away. And the Doctor and the other two go after the trail.
Yeah.
Oh, also the stasis pod's gone.
Yes.
Because that's what's made the dragging.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He's dragged it to a church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A church that has some very not church interior, but I suppose it's just like a proxy town.
It's a prop church, isn't it?
Yeah.
Prop church.
And before that bit in the main body of the church, we do get a bit of like sneaking around and hiding when the Fisher King's walking around, because I think we
lose
Fangirl.
Fangirl.
Yeah. She waits such a short period of time after it's stopped making noise to then come out of her hiding place. Also, is the Fisher King wearing the wrong trousers from Wallace and Gromit?
Yes.
Side point, did you watch the Christmas special?
I loved it.
I thought for a minute they were going to kill Gromit.
I thought they were going to kill Gromit.
It immediately became a Michael Bay film.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? Just Feathers McGraw was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and he's just as sinister as he was however many years ago it was.
Perfect.
Whatever they do with that blinking thing that almost looks like flashing lights,
yeah, like,
horrific.
Yeah, I loved Norbert. I thought Norbert was fantastic.
Harrowing as well.
Absolutely
Some
horrendous.
of those shots.
Yeah,
like,
it's when he had those big dark eyes. Like, because when he finished being turned evil and he hadn't quite turned around yet, I was like, right, are his eyes going to be like red or what's going on? And then no, it was even worse. They're just big fucking black holes.
I was really, because I was talking to Donna about this, and with her two little ones, and she said that she started watching it with them but hadn't quite got to that point. I thought, oh fuck, like that's some harrowing visuals that they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Also, whoever made the fucking creative choice of Norbert's charging, I think that was.
I want to say that was probably Reece Shearsmith all the way.
What are you doing?
Fucking brilliant.
Outrageous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, so she wanders out and she gets lasered. Glasses hears this and then runs in to go and find her. Now, on a third watch, I found it less humorous and slightly more, I don't know, but it's like the deaf noises she was making were odd. I don't know, it was notable
really
enough for
remember
me
them,
to
be
say
honest.
it as a point.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of,
Oh God, yes. Yeah, no, I remember. Awful. Bad acting. I mean, I don't know. Has anybody died with those noises? I don't know.
a lot of creatures have made
Creatures
those
have
noises,
made that noise.
but not a death sound. I think it would have been better had she not been making any sound, and maybe we get some
She didn't need to.
some wonderful music, and then just her
Yeah.
kind of like shaking on the ground or something. That would have been more heartfelt, but it broke the sadness of the moment.
Yeah. No,
To
I
have that.
remember now. Yeah.
And-
I was like, oh.
Again, I got more from these two, the idea that there could be something there, than
Yeah.
later on with the two other certain people. But it still didn't feel like that, he was cut up like losing a colleague,
Yeah.
but not cut up like losing someone that you supposedly fancy.
I don't know if that's just a bit of both of their characters, like that she's supposed to be this like spunky, that's an awful word.
Yeah, kind of outgoing.
Yeah, a bit ballsy, and
lively
he's the
individual.
book nerd, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know if he just played it too closed off.
If you wanted a complex character, this should have been the moment where he broke that kind of illusion and became more almost like when because Rory was kind of along the same kind of
Yeah,
lines
he
where
was
he was
like a quiet
nerdy,
little
but then
book
once
nerdy, wasn't
Amy
he?
possibly was dead, he unleashed hell on the Doctor.
Yeah. It just needed to be something else. And I know he then turns around and has a go at the Doctor, and it's like, you're changing the universe to.
But again,
suit
he's
yourself.
quite calm about it.
Really
He's
calm
questioning
about
it, but he is very calm about it.
Really calm about it. He's calm about everything. He's calm about throwing up. He's calm about all of it.
But
It just seems very unfair. Also, just the sheer fact of going back in time. It just seems like it's just played up with his stomach rather than actually going, oh, what the fuck, I've just been in this. This is insane. Whereas she clearly knows who the Doctor is, so has a bit more info and lore in her brain.
But she still has that fangirl moment after, because she says something like, "There's a stone in my boot, you wander off," and then she has like it's bigger on the inside kind of fangirl moment.
Yeah. Bigger on the inside. Bigger on the inside. Yeah. It's just odd. It's an odd couple, and I don't understand it. And yeah, I didn't feel sad about her death because she was weird about it.
But we do get Glasses make the connection that the names have been in order of people
Of
passing.
who's going to die,
And
and you're only going to do something about it now because
now-
Clara's next.
yeah.
And then that's where he goes, you'll just save the universe to suit yourself. And then the Doctor does that thing where he's like, no, I'm saving Clara, bitch. And to be honest, as shitty as these episodes are, Capaldi is on point.
Oh yeah.
like his acting is just like hell yeah, because he's just looking at him like, I hate you.
I don't think there's
also
ever
got
a
bigger
point.
things to do right now.
Like the Bill era is not
Top
as
tier.
yeah, well, yeah, but I'm just saying it's not as cemented in my mind because it has been a long time since I've seen it. So I can't say Capaldi's acting all the way will be consistently great, although I have no doubt it will be. Thank you. But especially up to this point, there has been no point where he hasn't been firing on all cylinders. Even though the writing's been weird at times, he has been giving it his all, and
He's
always
done
been
everything.
perfect.
Yeah, he's done everything he can with the writing he's been given and with the directing he's been given, and it's phenomenal. And there was that point in my brain where he's chatting to glasses at this point. I was just like, because you can just see how cold he is at this point towards anybody else except for Clara. But also this little hint of, I know I've fucked up and this person's died and she was quite nice. He's just got this wonderful, like, I don't know, he's just got a way of doing it with his whole face, and you're just like, what the fuck is this?
Side point that we skipped over a little bit. It's nowhere near as critical as any of the major plot points, but I do like that because I think Clara is asked to keep her phone on the ghost, so the doctor can like call in and see what's going on and stuff. I do like that when she turns her phone, the doctor has to spin the console screen around to mimic the positioning of that. I do quite like that.
That's cool. I like that. It's
so,
just a nice little bit because it doesn't need to.
No.
But it's nice.
So the doctor, I think, asks Glasses at this point to go back to the TARDIS. Well, there's a reason why he goes back and they're separated. I can't really remember why, but they do separate. Not too sure.
He has to go. Oh, aren't they going to leave? And then instead of letting them leave, the TARDIS puts them back.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yes, sorry, because we get all of that. So yes, you are right. So they decide to leave, and the cloister bell goes off again, and they
get shunted back half an hour. Yeah.
And we get almost a bit of Father's Day-esque kind of.
Yeah, he wants
stuff.
to go and save her, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And looks like
I do love that fucking tackle that Capaldi does.
It's great.
Slams him to the ground.
Absolutely slam dunks him into the ground, because then that's a bit where she turns around, isn't it? Yeah. Slam dunks him and it's like, no, you can't do this, blah blah blah. It'll change everything.
We'll get the horrible space mouth dragons back.
Yeah, we don't need them again. Yeah. And then is that the point where he sends him back to the TARDIS?
Yeah, I think that is, because then he goes off and does stuff with Fisher King.
Yeah, follows the drag marks, doesn't he?
Yeah, into the church. So,
do we need to go back to the base?
What do you think happens at the base? What should happen at the notes? Tell me what happens at the base. We get another. We do get a creature roar at this point, and we get a wonderful pull focus.
Oh yeah,
it's you can't really tell because the background's masked by the ship, but you do see that the background's not quite moving at the same speed, much like a pull focus would do.
Yeah.
It is quite nice.
Yeah, get that creature roar. Who is? It's a. I can't remember the name of the artist, but it's a death metal musician who does the scream.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember their name. Skillrex or Skullrex? I can't remember.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a someone from a band.
We do. Yes, you are right though, because we do go back to the base because we get a jump scare.
Just being a bit naughty.
Where
jump scare.
I don't know if you were got by it. But it's where Clara's just looking out the porthole window from the Faraday cage, and Fangirl
pops up, and you're like, oh no!
Oh no, you didn't!
You did!
And
conveniently trapped.
What?
She's in the Faraday cage, isn't she?
No, she's outside of the Clara and the rest of the survivors are in the Faraday cage. But Clara's put her phone outside of the Faraday cage.
Oh, then we've skipped a wee bit, because last we were in the Faraday cage, the ghosts were trapped in the Faraday cage.
I don't fucking know how they got out.
Well, no, I don't know how we got out. The Doctor lets them out. Doctor Ghost lets them out.
Yes! Sorry, we have skipped
we
that.
have skipped a wee bit, haven't we?
So the Doctor Ghost
wanders
up and
has let them out,
them out of the Faraday cage. Now, there is a point that I wanted to make with this, and I suppose because we don't really have to be like, because this isn't like the Missy reveal, we can talk about stuff later in the episode.
Okay.
We know that this Doctor is a hologram.
What?
I know.
Spoiler!
I know.
Yes, we do.
Why can it push buttons?
Because it's plot. I don't know.
And also, what is projecting these holograms? I could come to the belief that there is some kind of projection system that runs through the full length of the base, which is a stretch in itself. But why is there one outside of the base in just the murky waters?
Because it's the Doctor? I don't know. Maybe he's got like a little nanobot hologram thing.
You're pulling at strings of a jumper that isn't there.
Because of plot, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Plot.
It does. It's not really all that important, but it does make me laugh where they forget the rules that they've written in an episode at the same time as like they forget the very thing that they're writing. But it's good.
It's like there isn't a whole team looking at this episode.
It would make more sense if there was some kind of malfunction or I don't know. Maybe there was. I mean, because it makes sense that inside a Faraday cage, which might even be like a secondary base terminal, that maybe there's some kind of button or something. Or some kind of hackable thing that the ghosts could use inside there to get out. I don't know. But it does somewhat cause issues with the whole idea of a hologram.
Because we must also be, like, stuck in night cycle as well, aren't we? Have we glossed over that?
Presumably.
Because the ghosts are all still there. Because again, surely just turn it back to light and you'll be all right.
But I suppose they can't get to that portion of the base because it's been flooded.
Oh, yeah.
So I can say that.
So yeah, I don't know what hologram.
But I
Let's just assume hologram is
has the ability to push buttons and interact with the real world, as all good holograms do.
Yeah. Have you heard the bit as well where Cass has felt the ground? Because I liked that bit as a visual.
Yes,
really
now that is very cool. How they do the sound design in that's really cool because it's not silence. It's almost like it's very quiet, but you know, like when you're underwater and you can hear like that, not
that
rumbling,
muffled
but
kind of rumbly sound.
It's very much like that.
Yeah.
And
then when she puts her hand to the ground,
and she can hear and you get the visual of the outline of the axe and of Meringue dragging it, and it's all very, very.
I really like it. I think she's one of the first deaf actress to be in Doctor Who.
Oh, is she actually deaf?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's actually a deaf actress.
Oh, brilliant.
And I think she's the first deaf actress to be in Doctor Who.
Oh, wow.
And actually, all used, the sign is all correct and everything.
Also, what do you know what she says to Clara? Because there is a moment where she asks...
I can't remember.
It's probably not fuck yourself, but...
I don't remember.
It's something where Clara's like, I don't need a translation for that. I got that.
Yeah. It's probably something like that. But yeah, I just remember reading that she was the first fully deaf actress to be in Doctor Who.
That's really cool.
And she was quite involved in that part.
I suppose, because you want to get it right.
Didn't want it to be like a Daredevil moment, which is ridiculous. You know, like the echolocation kind of crap. It's not quite right.
No,
for that. So,
well, I suppose
with that, I think
for the sake of that scene, there is a reason why the axe is on the base.
Yes, for the scraping.
But for the practical implication, there is no reason why there is a fucking axe on that base.
There's no reason. But yeah, I don't know where that part comes in the actual episode.
No, but it's good.
At all. But it's wonderful. I thought it was really good, and it's nice that an actual disabled person had a chance to actually say, no, this is more like it, rather than turn it into some weird, stupid, superpowery vibe.
But still use it to their advantage in that moment.
Yeah, I just think it was really nice. 1 plus point for the episode.
Yes.
It might even have been the previous episode, I don't know.
Oh, shit. Well, hopefully no one watched the first episode or listened to the first episode and be like, fuck these guys. They didn't mention that really good scene.
We did now.
Yes. Oh, no, wait. I think it is in this episode because I do have a note that says thoughts on the perspective from Cass.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Hey!
Welcome back to the show that you love and covers all the important points.
Well done, us.
Right, so I think, are we now caught up? I hope we are.
I've got no fucking idea where we're at.
Fuck it. So, what was the bit that we were covering about the base before I Was backtracked. Fuck.
Was it jump scare moment?
Yes, it was. So, fangirl's dead. Jump scare. Clara's left her phone outside of the Faraday cage because she wants the doctor to be able to see all the stuff. Forgetting, of course, that the ghosts can interact with physical objects.
Yeah.
And Fangirl goes and just takes the phone and wanders off.
Yes.
But they deduce in that moment that Len is impervious to the ghosts to a certain extent because there was a point when they were all being chased that the ghosts ignored him.
Yeah.
So they then say, Len, go out and get the phone back.
Yeah, yeah. And he does just walk through it. Like no one's way.
There is a bit of resistance from Cass over this.
Yes.
Because I suppose in her mind, Clara's sending him to his death.
Yeah.
But he does eventually go off.
Does Clara make the link as to why they don't?
Yes, I think she does.
Yeah.
She says because he wasn't the one.
He hasn't
Cass
seen the writing.
didn't let him go into the pod to see the writing.
Yeah.
So that's why he's impervious to him.
Yeah. Can't remember why Cass didn't let him go in.
I don't know.
There was a reason, and she does tell him something.
I think she just gets a feeling.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was at the beginning of the previous episodes, but yeah. Essentially, she doesn't let him in.
Yeah. And he walks, I think the phone's been left in the lounge area again.
Yes.
I can understand why they hadn't done this, but the ghosts still could have like broken the phone and then left it there. It doesn't make sense to me why the ghosts would
just move it.
Would just move it.
Yeah.
I understand it was to then create that trap, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's weird.
But Len gets locked in the room.
Yeah. Lun.
Sorry. Fuck's sake.
It's okay. Meringue.
I can't then really remember why Cass and Clara leave I think maybe just because it's been a while.
I think maybe just because Cass wants Lun back, isn't it?
I think that is when, because I think Clara goes off first and tells Cass to stay there.
Yes.
And then Cass goes against that and leaves, and that's when we get the cool axe scene. And
Yeah,
everything, so
that
the
was it,
vibrations
isn't
and
it?
stuff.
Yeah.
And then Clara runs past her, and they all get back to the lounge. But then Lun reveals that it's a trap,
Yep.
and then all the ghosts come in.
Yes.
And I can't fucking remember how they get out of that, but I think we're then back to the Doctor
And
and
we then
his
come
shit.
back to the Doctor in church, don't we?
Okay, so this is the stuff that I really want to cover. Because we talked about this in the Christmas special. If you haven't listened to it, because now you can listen to it and you have a jolly Christmas, you don't have to bum yourselves out. Christmas has been and gone, but we did a 5-part Children of Earth special.
We did.
And I mentioned in that this creature would have benefited from the same treatment as the 456. And it initially did, where we only saw like a shoulder and stuff like that. But we never needed to see the full creature.
No.
Even in the darkness, it's still fairly sinister. It's when it's walking out and about in the outside that it doesn't look sinister in the slightest.
No.
But let's talk about this creature's design. Well, no, actually first, we only hear a voice from this creature. And he sounds very similar to House from...
It's not the same actor, I don't
No,
think. It's who? Because that's Michael Sheen,
yeah.
and this is Peter Seraphim. I can never pronounce his last name.
But it's a similar kind of bassy
Which
tone.
Yeah.
Because the Doctor's talking about the
Brilliant
ghosts and the Fisher King's like, ooh, how many ghosts have I created?
Yeah.
How many ghosts will I create?
Yeah.
And he says apparently that he'd need like a legion of ghosts, which then doesn't make sense why the stasis pod is opening on the base in the present day when there's
5, 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
Because he wants to eliminate humanity. Because obviously.
Well, and it's enslave them.
Oh, that's the one.
Because he talks about drying up the ocean and putting humanity in chains.
Yes.
Again, I think this is where this creature becomes less intimidating because their motives are so vague.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we'll just dry up the oceans and put humanity in chains. But
It's like, but why?
yeah. I think this, now slight tangent, I think this would have benefited again from, and there's a bit that goes to this, had this creature been the 456.
Mm-hmm.
Picture this. That's the reason why it's in the casket or in the hearse in the first place, because it's injured from torchwood.
Oh.
But you don't need because we
Yeah.
don't know how it died. The Fisher King died anyway, so you don't really need that context from Torchwood anyway, because it's the same setup.
It's just dead. Yeah.
It crawls its way to somewhere where it's able to then build a new kind of stasis thing, but you still don't see all of it.
Yeah.
It has grown and adapted to feed off of grown-ups instead of children. But the chemicals that they get from the grown-ups are so much less, so they have to do it more frequently.
Yeah.
But it makes this far more spooky, because every single time the 456 fed, it would create one of these ghosts.
Ghost, yeah.
Which means that on a random Scottish road, there are 11 kids with no eyes.
Ooh. That could have been really cool. Yeah.
It could have been.
It's such a wasted monster,
Yeah.
this Fisher King.
The face design's interesting enough. As someone who likes Tyranids in the 40k universe, I got a sense of like a kind of Gene Steelery-esque creature.
I like it.
But its cumbersome way that it walks doesn't make it.
And just this I can't think of the word. It's just too solid. There's nothing.
Do you think it's robotic below the hips or something? Because it walks with a, like I said, almost like a wrong trousers-esque.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's some artificial stuff there. It isn't fully...
Or is it just a really big clunky costume?
Why is it making a...
I don't know. Maybe it is. But then...
I think you do see its feet and it looks metal.
It looks almost like it's wearing fucking New Rock goth boots. But
This guy be kicking.
it's just... I quite like the design, but I just feel it needed to be more movable. Do you know what I mean? It just felt like it was so stiff. You couldn't see it talking, which is fine to a degree, but there was just... It might as well have been a fucking Dalek. It was just... There was just nothing there.
If you want something that's rigid, but also can move quicker, what comes to mind that's still in the Capaldi era is Heaven Sent. Sorry.
Yeah.
The creatures that are in the Gallifreyan
Yeah, the
tombs, the ones that zip around and have the screamy faces and stuff.
Yeah.
If it had been like that...
Again, yeah. And
that
it would have
would have
been
been
kind of
spooky.
a little bit more in keeping with the whole hologrammy vibe of the ghost, that kind of flickering.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know. It just... Something about it misses, and I can never put my finger quite on what it is. Great voice actor, great scream, good design. But something just doesn't mesh. I don't know.
And it feels like this creature's plan is far too convoluted for people to really follow, because even on a third watch, I'm not entirely sure how everything molds together. So you intended to put yourself in the coffin and then get onto the base that you knew was going to be flooded, but you didn't. And then people who died by reading the writing that you'd written on the wall when you were resurrected would then become ghosts when they died, that would then send out a signal so your people would then be able to come to Earth. Yes?
Yes and no, because he didn't think that the place was going to be flooded.
Oh, no, I suppose. Okay.
He just assumed it was going to be in a valley.
Oh, okay. So people who died.
People who died. I didn't think...
Well, I suppose because he was... So did he misinterpret that setup then? Did he think that was like a real war base where it was actually just a training space where no one would have died?
It wasn't supposed to be flooded.
No. But it was just
it?
meant to be like a training town for
Yeah.
the Soviets invasion.
I don't know if he planned on... Or if Prentice just took him to the wrong place.
Well, there is a little bit of dialogue that I suppose meshes up, because Prentice talks about, or the Doctor says when Prentice is talking, that he wanted to bury him in the most vicious place he could. And it's almost kind of like Mr. Copper. He's read up on Earth and clearly just read the terrible bits and thought that
this was it.
This was it.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's probably one place that no one's going to die.
No one's going to go, yeah. I think Prentice is just fucked up.
Yeah.
And he should have been somewhere else.
There's many elements of this episode that should have been in different episodes.
Yeah.
This episode didn't benefit from a two-parter treatment in any shape or form.
No, it really didn't.
It should have just been the ghosts on an underwater base. That was enough. It didn't need this whole Fisher King thing.
No, it really didn't. He was just a pointless add-on, which is a shame.
Now there's a Big Finish story that does a similar formula. You're gonna love this. Have I talked to you about recent Big Finish stuff?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's set on a base and training base,
Right.
off. I can't remember which A road it is, but in Cardiff, that's meant to simulate Mars,
Right.
because Cardiff, and the member of Torchwood that goes to investigate it is Andy.
For fuck's sake.
I've still got. I think I've still given you access to Big.
Yeah.
So I've got it. So you're welcome to listen
Amazing.
to it. And it's the same actor who plays him,
what a
but
boss.
and I think it is the base itself or elements of the base that are the kind of antagonist in that situation,
Oh,
which
okay.
I think this episode would have benefited from if it was just conjurings of the base itself or something like that. It didn't have to be a Jodie Whittaker, like, if you invade the ocean, this is what happens if you do
Yeah.
this, which I'm all for as an activist myself, but
Yeah,
it doesn't. It doesn't always need to be that. It can just be like the base has become
silly
too
fun story.
sentient and stuff. Maybe a cautionary tale for AI or whatever. It
Yeah.
doesn't need the Fisher King element of it,
No.
especially because very little happens. I think
They have a chat in the church, and then that's about
they
it.
have a chat in the church. The Fisher King doesn't kill the Doctor for some reason, apart from he's like, I wonder how many ghosts I can make from you. But then probably realizing he's a threat and should probably kill him, not
Why
just
doesn't
sit.
he?
I don't know.
And also, how does the Doctor get away? Does he just run away?
No. He says
does
to
he leave?
says to him that he's somehow reversed the writing on the wall, so none of his plan will happen.
Oh, yeah.
To which the Fisher King's like, I believe you, person.
I believe you. I'm going to go
I've
and
just
check.
met. I'm going to go and very slowly check
Yeah.
and let you and just shove you to one side and go and check.
Oh, yeah.
And he wanders, and this is when we see him outside and fully get to appreciate just how much that creature needed to remain in the dark.
Yeah.
And wanders up, and he's like, I think the dialogue is word for word. The Time Lord, he lied.
It is. Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, he lied.
And I think he sees. I don't know if he sees that one of the power that
I think he
things is
does,
missing.
because I think he goes, what?
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But again, we're at another really awful bit of time.
But
And then he kind of shuffles off and down, doesn't he?
yeah, because one of the power things is definitely missing, and the
definitely
Doctor, in between scenes, I guess, has jumped and run over to the side of the dam
yeah.
and has placed it,
Placed a big boom boy on it.
and it's blown up and released
A
the
lot
water.
of water.
Um,
Where we get more screamo voice.
yes,
Yeah.
I do quite like, because it sounds quite morbid, and like, I doubt it would ever happen, but just living where I do, so close to the coast, and I was just thinking if there ever was like a country-ending size tsunami, I probably would just do that. Like, you're
Yeah,
not
but
running away from it. You
alright.
may as well just accept it at that point.
Yeah. But it's a really bad bit of CGI.
It's
isn't it?
very fucking. It should have just cut. Like, we don't need to see him be whooped. It's almost like someone went onto Photoshop and just clicked him and dragged him and fuck away.
That is the best noise. It just works. Oh, yeah. No, literally, it's awful. But it does, again, lend to the point that maybe he is robotic. Because if he's being swept away like that and he's not...
Yeah, there's no
at least had some
flailing. He's just,
flaily, leggy bits, yeah.
yeah. Regardless, it looks like shit. Yeah, big build up to this big creature reveal was ultimately nothing.
It was so pointless.
And I guess the Doctor in this time gets into the stasis pod, because the stasis pod's unlocking during all of this.
Yeah.
And we're fearing that the Fisher King's going to be inside.
Yeah, but we're running towards it. Aren't we? Clara, Cass and Lun?
Running towards what? What, the stasis pod?
The stasis pod that's opening.
I think they are in the room.
They are
when
in
it
the room for
opens.
some reason. How
Yeah.
did they get out of the
I don't know.
lunchroom?
Yeah, how did... What? Oh, wait.
Do the ghosts start leaving and they follow the ghosts?
They follow the scream,
Scream.
because the Doctor's ghost is screaming inside the Faraday cage.
Doctor's ghost is luring them into the...
Faraday cage,
Luring
yeah.
the ghost into the Faraday cage by
Yeah.
screaming. Yes.
But we'll go back to that because we've got to open up the stasis pod, and it's the Doctor
It's
again.
the Doctor.
Don't kiss me, I have morning breath.
Yeah.
I did originally think when I first saw it, is this now another however many 100 years on the Doctor's life? But I suppose not, because he's in a stasis, like suspended animation pod. It would probably just
yeah.
keep him at the age when he went in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's some stinky boy that's getting out of that.
He has
Out of
that.
the
He's obviously been there a long time. How many years are we going?
So Soviet stuff, that was after Second World War, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Cold War stuff.
Cold War stuff.
But not much after that. So what are we talking, like 60s?
Yeah, maybe.
60s. Fuck me.
Yeah, and then it's like 100 odd.
Yeah, nearly 200 years.
Nearly 200 years. Yeah.
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 And I think the Doctor.
Has the TARDIS come back? Has he told Glasses how to fly the TARDIS?
No,
to get it
because
back?
there's an automated program that takes the TARDIS back.
Oh, yeah.
And we get kind of similar to the 10th Doctor's thing when in Blink.
Uh-huh.
When it's like, I can't remember the exact wording, but at least this version of it, Capaldi says something like, put all loose luggage in compartments.
In
and stuff.
compartments.
Where
are
that?
your compartments,
Yeah.
Capaldi? Yeah.
If there's going to be any rocking, all those books are flying off
They're
those
gone.
shelves.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess the TARDIS comes back to the base. Again, very loosey-goosey, because I don't know what happens in the rest of this episode.
I can't remember at all.
Yeah, I'm running out of notes.
Do the ghosts just disappear?
No, because they do get trapped in the Faraday cage.
Yeah, but... Oh, God.
And that's when we get the reveal that the Doctor's ghost isn't a ghost.
Isn't a ghost, it's a hologram. Yeah.
And
They're like, oh my God, how are you here and you're dead?
But it turns out that the Doctor used the sonic sunglasses or some shit to...
Probably.
There's some gumph there and...
Yeah, Sonic sunglasses.
All fine. Again, the only thing I take issue with is the fact that it was able to use a terminal. I could take all the loosey-goosey shit, but that doesn't sit well with my understanding of holograms, however close-minded that might be. I do love that the Doctor says he's going to help them and keep them safe from the ghosts by removing the memory of the writing, that they'll lose certain non-critical memories like school friends, previous addresses. I think it's how to drink liquid.
How to drink liquid,
yeah. You know,
all those
unessential things.
very unessential things.
And I...
So wait, are the ghosts just trapped in the Faraday cage forever?
They are, and it's not said immediately. It's said later on in the episode, but I'll cover it now because clearly you want to know.
I'm on this, man.
Yeah.
I need to know.
So the Doctor says that Unit's going to remove the Faraday cage.
Oh God, yeah.
And just jettison it into space, and because the connection to the Fisher King's gone, they'll eventually fade away. This is a gamble.
Oh, 100%, it's a gamble. He's just making it up.
Space is full of shit that's just hurtling around. All it takes is the slightest little ting off a little bit of ice or something, and that Faraday cage is open.
Yep.
And those fuckers are going climbing out.
Where are they going to go, though, to be fair?
To the Big Finish episode with Jackie Tyler and the X-Doctor.
Or maybe they'll end up floating close enough to the Fisher King's race, and then they'll be like, oh, look, yeah, there's our ghosts, we do that. Let's have a look.
Oh, wouldn't it be terrible if they got out and it's like the signal's re-established and the Fisher King's race are like, great, now we can teleport into there, but they're floating right next to the sun.
Literally, can you imagine that?
He accidentally just caused the genocide of a whole race. So that plot's done, but we've got some stuff that we've got to finish up at the base, because before the ghosts get jettisoned off, Glasses is standing by the window looking all sad.
Oh yeah.
Morvin, or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And says, can Lun
can you translate something?
Can you tell Cass that you've loved her, you always have?
Yeah.
Like we saw throughout the entire two-parting, you know, all those scenes where they were clearly, or he was at least clearly in love with her, and in no way was just very friendly and like any other colleague would be.
Also just doing his job. He's her interpreter.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, if you're an interpreter, you get very close to a person that you're interpreting for.
Yeah.
But there was nothing to suggest that this was a romantic interest.
This needs to be writing and good points where, like, maybe he oversteps the mark and has a gift for her or something that most colleagues wouldn't get for her, or has a reaction or something.
Holds her hand at some point.
Anything to show that there's more of a, I want to protect this person because I actually really like them, as opposed to, I'm just here.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And I suppose you can kind of argue that maybe Cass not wanting him to go to get the phone was some sort of familiarity bit, but also if she was the senior officer at that point.
But it would have then made more sense for Cass to then sign back to him that she loved him.
Yeah.
instead of the other way
The other way around. Yeah, yeah,
because, like
yeah.
you say, there was no sign from him.
No sign from him. There was something you could maybe argue from her, but not from him.
No.
And it's just...
But regardless, there's a kiss scene that was not warranted at all. But
that is unnecessary.
But it's there.
It was forced in, I think, and I don't know why. It was just, very strange.
I think it would have been more in keeping with like the 12th Doctor's kind of harshness that's sometimes prevalent in these episodes, where maybe Glasses have misinterpreted the situation, and
Cass was like, "No."
Yeah. And that
would have been more interesting and less mainstream of it to have just gone, no, and then for them to have still remained friends.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, sorry. Can we carry on? Yeah, of course. Boom.
I'd like to think there is. I'm so sure there is an episode at some point where there's something like this, but they do the right thing and they go, "Oh no, I actually don't see you that way." I don't know if maybe I'm misremembering this from a different bit of media that I've been watching recently.
Sure.
I
can imagine that
I've been deep in American Gods of late, so it's very possible it's from
fair.
But yeah. So,
is that about it?
I think so, because I think we're now back on the TARDIS, and the Doctor does more monologuing about Beethoven.
Oh yeah. Because Clara's like, or the Doctor said, "How did I know what names to list? How did I know what the ghost was saying to program my hologram?"
Yeah.
It's because you told me what he was saying, but that means I'd already programmed it. But then who did blah blah blah, and they just kept going around. And I think at some point he says, "If you could drive yourself mad trying to figure it out." Yeah.
Because in a very recent Christmas special, we get another
bootstrap paradox again. Yeah.
But we'll talk about that
When
in
we get there.
5 years' time.
But there's that nice bit, isn't there, where like the Doctor looks at the camera again and just kind of raises his eyebrows to us, and we get that da-da-da-da again, which is great.
It is very, very good. And I think that's where the episode ends.
I think
Unless
it is.
there's anything that we've missed. I'm just scanning through my notes, but I genuinely don't think.
I don't think there was much to miss.
Oh,
was
no,
there?
here's something.
Oh, wait.
There's some horse shit from Clara. So it's very easy for Clara to go up to Glasses and be like, you should carry on. You should, continue to live your life.
Oh,
And
God, yeah.
when she's got the whole
does.
fucking universe in front of her, and ultimate way, she could have I know it never turns out this way, but she could have the best days that she ever wants infinitely.
Yeah.
In order to make the death of Danny Pink slightly easier. But this man, as far as we're aware, is just stuck on this base now for a little bit longer.
Yep, he's got to wait for his possible submarine ship to come and get him. Yep.
Yep. I understand it comes from the best place, but Clara clearly has forgotten that her situation is not comparable to his.
And also forgotten that she basically blackmailed the Doctor to get Danny Pink back when he first died. Are we forgetting how one behaved, Clara? You can't be telling this man to just get on with his life when you literally were ready to end the entire fucking universe because you lost your boyfriend.
Yeah, I think retrospect clearly has played a bit of a part for her, but you can't just take the high ground and be like, "Oh yeah, you should do this."
Yeah, you should be this, you'll be fine.
She was not that.
No. Awful. No empathy, love.
No.
Let him be angry.
I don't know if it ever would happen, but I'm slightly gunning towards this, seeing as the podcast in terms of popularity and exposures ever growing. I'd love it if we ever did do like a collaboration or just an insert with Still Got Legs, because they are both such avid Clara lovers. They love Clara.
Guys.
I think Nathan considers her his favourite companion.
No!
And
incorrect.
He would tell us to wholeheartedly fuck off, but and obviously,
each to their own.
Yes, but it would be very
polite
interesting
and say
to see what that kind of dynamic would be, because
That would be
obviously
fun.
we have a very different perspective on Clara. But we have got to the section of the show where we'll play our little jingle if it exists, because we're going to be addressing our daft cunt of the week.
What do they think they're doing?
A ham-fisted bun vendor.
He's an unimaginative plodder.
Apart from losing the master and the missile, you're doing very well, Brigadier.
I helped you devise a less idiotic plan of attack of all the idiotic suggestions.
You're an idiot.
You will bring a terrible retribution upon yourselves if you persist.
Shut up, you silly old fool.
You would dare to harm the great wizard Queequeg-Quag?
Charming. Yeah, they're round the twist, if you ask me.
This is the section of the show where we look at you and be like, "You're a daft cunt."
don't know. There's quite a lot of competition today.
I think mine might be.
Mine might be the Fisher King.
See, no, okay.
Be honest with you. Oh yeah, I trust this strange man that I've never met. I'm going to go and check my ship.
This man's clearly playing for time. I will let him do that. That's annoying. Okay, I've got to think of one then.
Oh, did I steal yours?
Yeah, you did.
Sucker.
Never
let me talk first.
I think mine might be the Doctor, just because of the context that we talked about earlier, where clearly he's either talking to Clara while she's sleeping or she's tied up somewhere, because there is no interjection from Clara during the start of that episode when there definitely would be.
Yeah, fair. I'll accept that.
Really
once.
dialogue, but he's clearly like.
That's your only allocated Doctor being.
I feel like I've used this too early.
You might have done.
Shit.
No, fair. Or we could say Prentice for being horny about enslavement.
Yeah, but we don't know whether this is something that's carried over. We've only ever seen 2 of his race. We don't know whether it's majority or just him. We don't know. I mean, my other thing would be prawn sandwich.
Prawn sandwich man.
Yeah, when there's a whole buffet.
Maybe they're just all cunts this week. Clara for not letting that man be sad.
No, absolutely. I suppose Cass is probably the only redeemable one, because I don't think she has any odd moments.
I don't think any bad points.
Apart from, well, obviously it's up to her whether or not she likes this other guy, but it seems out of nowhere.
Yes.
But yeah, I think she's probably the only one who's
not
redeemable.
Yeah, I think
in
so.
certain elements of this episode. But yeah, that is the end of. Oh man! And I watched the Next Time trailer. We've got an absolute stonker.
Oh, is it?
It's Vikings.
The Viking week.
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones girl and Vikings that aren't Vikings.
The girl who waited and the woman who lived. Is that it?
Fuck knows, but
not the girl who waited. That's Amy.
No, that's Amy.
The girl who died and the woman who lived. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible episodes to come.
Yes.
With some really, it's weird. Well, obviously we'll talk about this when we get around to it, but there's some really heartfelt emotional scenes that are scattered throughout these 2 episodes to come that shouldn't exist in these 2 episodes.
So we finally get an answer to an age-old question.
Yes, we do, which is great.
Which is wonderful. And yeah.
And we've waited for this.
We've waited for this, and it just... When it appeared in these episodes, I was like, what the fuck?
When I remembered it being a thing that happens, I didn't think it happened. I honestly thought it happened in Capaldi's first episode.
Yeah.
But no.
It did not.
No.
It happens here.
Yeah.
For some unknown reason.
Well, I suppose there's a tenuous link to the plot. But
to be fair.
It should exist in a better episode.
It's another bit of fantastic acting.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
absolutely brilliant.
So good.
But
we'll get to there when we get to there.
We'll get there. If you have any comments or speculations, or just want to talk to us, just want to call us cunts, because we don't like Clara all that much, but clearly there are people out there that do, and we love you for it. You can comment.
We love you for being wrong.
Hot take. New Never Eat Pears merch. Clara sucks. We'll have a shirt that's just good companions, and Clara's just not on.
Clara's not on there.
Yeah, you can put your comments or rage into our YouTube channel, or you can do it on our Twitter page, which should be linked in the show notes. But until the next time, Pete and I are blasting off into time and space.
Yeah.
Moisturize me.
Earth will be sucked